Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is gluten. But before I talk about gluten, I just want to acknowledge these beautiful peonies that I picked and I wanted to share with you guys because my garden is busting with peonies right now and it's just so beautiful that I had to share. But let's get back to gluten. So I just watched a documentary on Netflix called What's with Wheat that really goes into why, after thousands of years of people eating wheat, we're suddenly having these reactions to it. And I just want to say it's a great documentary. I highly recommend it. If you are on the fence about whether you should give up gluten or not, this is a documentary that will probably give you some information about why you would want to do this. So I want to talk about the fact that, well, for one thing, I know that there are some people who are on the same page as me and they've eliminated gluten and they know that it has made a difference in their life. That has certainly been the case for me. But then I know there are a lot of other people who are wondering, is this just some kind of hipster trend? Is this some kind of thing where people think of themselves as delicate fleurs or precious snowflakes and they just are avoiding gluten to be high maintenance and a pain in the butt? And maybe that is the case for some people. I mean, it is kind of amusing that there are people who do not really know what gluten is, and that apparently if you, at one point, if you Googled, is gluten, or I think it's like, is there gluten in? And the first thing that comes up is potatoes. And just letting you know, no, there is no gluten in potatoes. Gluten is something that comes out of wheat and other kinds of grains. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is the fact that as a highly sensitive empathic person, we tend to be not only sensitive to picking up the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, the pain, the energy of the world around us, particularly the people who are in our immediate vicinity, but we can also be really sensitive to pretty much anything that we are being exposed to. And a lot of times, those of us who are highly sensitive and empathic are more delicate when it comes to our physical bodies, our physical health. It's not uncommon for autoimmune diseases to run in being highly sensitive. And it's also not uncommon for us to react to a lot of stuff, including what we eat, what we are exposed to in terms of like airborne stuff, mold, dust, chemicals, cleaning products, fragrances. I can't tell you how, like, going into like a candle place is just one of the most awful things for me, as well as electromagnetic frequencies, Wi-Fi, signals that are going on around us, just all of the kinds of stuff that we're being bombarded by on a daily basis. And every single one of these things is something that's going to basically stimulate our already sensitive system and add more burden to the load. So the thing is, there are a number of things that we don't have control over. I can't control the fact that my next door neighbor may or may not be having a migraine in the house next door, or that there's all kinds of electromagnetic frequencies and high tension wires near where I'm living, other than if I decided I wanted to move or something. But what I do have a choice about is what I eat, for the most part. Now, I will acknowledge that there are some times where you've got more choices about what you eat because of availability and cost, and other times it can be a little bit more difficult. But for many of us, we do have at least some choices around the food that we're eating. And so what I have found is that making the decision to eat whole foods that I can, with ingredients I can pronounce, and really to notice how I'm responding to whatever it is I'm putting in my body, allows me to maintain more emotional and physical stability than when I am just kind of randomly eating whatever. And what I found was that avoiding gluten, actually eliminating gluten, made a huge difference for me in terms of my physical health and my emotional stability. And I highly recommend, if you are noticing that your health is off balance, if you are noticing that you are dealing with an autoimmune disease, if you're noticing that you're feeling really even emotionally out of whack, and you're still eating a lot of gluten and you're eating a lot of other kinds of processed food, I would encourage you to look at your diet, because I think that really makes a difference. Now, what I will also say about gluten in my personal experience is that it is one of those things where half measures does not avail us, where it is something that it is best to eliminate entirely, because even a little cheat will basically send the body back into a state of alarm, and it will take quite a while for the body to restore itself after it has been exposed to something. So ideally, it's best to do everything you can to just stay away from it, as opposed to sort of going back and forth and eating it sometimes and not eating it other times. But I will say that not eating it as much as possible is way, way better than just saying, screw it, if I can't do it perfectly, then I'm not going to do it at all. So even if it means that, say you have an exposure like once a month or once every other month or even once a week, that's definitely better than eating it constantly. But know that every time you do have an exposure, it means that your body is sort of back at ground zero and has to kind of reboot itself and heal itself from that exposure, because it affects our gut so strongly. Now, I have found that it definitely makes a difference. What I eat really affects my mood, affects my body, affects my health, affects my energy. And as a highly sensitive empathic person, it is something I have some control over, and it is something that has made a very, very big difference in my life for how I feel on many different levels. And I invite you to consider this. If you are struggling and this is something that you are doing, this is something you're doing as in you are eating gluten, eliminating it from your diet is something that can make a difference. So I invite you to watch this video that is in the link below, the Netflix video, What's with Wheat. And I also really want to ask you, so as I'm talking about this, are you eating wheat? Are you achy? Are you uncomfortable? Are you feeling out of balance? Are you dealing with autoimmune stuff? Are you feeling uncomfortable? And are you open to the possibility of just eliminating it for a while and seeing what happens? And if you have already eliminated it, tell me about what has happened for you and whether you're feeling a lot better and what's going on. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about all of this. Please leave a comment below. And until next word of the day, I'm wishing you peace, I'm wishing you ease, and I am wishing you ease. I'm going to give you ease again, but I'm wishing you ease in the ability to let go of gluten without it having to be a really big deal. So, in the meantime, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jennifer Moore, Modern Medicine Lady, and also I will be ever so grateful for your help to get this video out into the world. So please like it, please share it, and please pass it along to other people who would find it useful. So, thank you so much, and until tomorrow, peace.